Hello and welcome to Wake and Jake, a special off-season edition as we ease off of the baseball, but we don't ease off here. I'm going to do a 30 for 30, a little round the horn, quick free agency preview for each team slash, I don't know, kind of the biggest topic, what's going on there or what you should be looking out for. Maybe it's a rival team, maybe it's not. Maybe you don't care and you just skip forward 1 minute till you get to your team and your rival. I don't care. I do. I love you guys. Still recovering from baseball season. Was a funny moment. Last night was kind of the first night in a long time. I was just on the couch. There was no football. There was no baseball. And I was like, where am I going? I watched some Rangers for a little bit. Swinging the puck around. There was a college game coming on. And I got sleepy. And then before that, I forgot to mention, I went to go watch Netflix, and I was logged out of my account. So after debating for 15 minutes if I should go for it, I was like, yeah, this will be good for you, Jake. Clicked, nope, relog in, not happening right now, back to hockey. So that's where I'm at, people, just an FYI. Let's do some baseball. We'll end with some football and a big JM announcement for those of you that are in the loop. I love the 30 for 30s. It's kind of like a quick trivia for me, and there's definitely something I miss that I like going through the comments and seeing what you guys say about your favorite team. So please feel free to. And the comments last episode were pretty wild. I know the short sleeve turtleneck is a different lane. It's a lane that's not executed a lot. Why would you have a turtleneck with short sleeves? If you're looking for a laugh today, go look at the last episode of Wake and Jake on YouTube and go check out the comments. I was shocked by how many people were in on it, but I like when society comes together. And if it's slightly at my own expense, some of them were half complimentary.
I don't know if they were even like in a rude way. Just everybody noticed.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of mom comments, a mom era, which I didn't know the moms had the short sleeve turtleneck on lock. That could just be my general energy.
Could be some carryover from Phillies Karen.
Phillies Karen just happened. I saw Jack Steve Jobs out there. I'll take that. I'll take that all day. The internet had a good time. I also think it was like, I think Dodger fans are kind of starting to come around on me that it's kind of like in Step Brothers when they finally go for the hug, but he punches him in the gut. Like, still need to let out some aggression. I'm here for that, guys. I just like baseball, and I'm here to prove that in the next 30 minutes where I talk about all 30 teams and their kind of biggest off-season concepts. So with that, it's all brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Arena Club. It's Arena Club. I just like to say Club sometimes. And over at Arena Club, it's time to get in on it. If you've never ripped packs, it's a rush. You could compare it to whatever gives you a rush. I don't know if they want me to compare it when I see a roulette ball bouncing, but my God, that's a rush. When it's coming, you're like, what am I getting? What am I getting? What am I getting? And whether you're in it to buy, sell, trade, Arena Club is the best place to do all of that. The slab packs, you can rip a wide range of packs starting at $25 and up. Every pack has grails that are at least 20 times the price of the pack. So once you open it, you get the excitement of seeing what you're about, and then immediately you could list it in auction, trade, or simply just showcase it. With every slab pack, Arena Club will make you an instant offer on the club. Okay, based on the market value. No guessing, no waiting. Instant offer. Estimated fair market value, simple, fast, and risk-free. Right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/wakeandjake. Use code wakeandjake. So if you're not in the game, check out Arena Club, give it a try. If you are in the game, you probably already know about them, and you might already be there, but go check them out if you're not. All right, let's see what we got. I'm going to get my phone clock, the stopwatch app in front of me. Add. Little promo there. And
check out the stopwatch app on your phone.
Yeah, download the stopwatch app. Usually alphabetical by league here. And that bought me a little time when I decided to start this exercise, and you'll see why in a second. In 3, 2, 1. The Athletics still technically are listed as the Athletics. They haven't changed to Sacramento on Fangraphs, and that's why I'm using the first 9 seconds to talk about that. And as you guys know, the Athletics, not the biggest boys at the table. That's not a phrase. When it comes to free agency, they did have to get in the mix last year because they needed to get it to not get sued by the players. So they signed Luis Severino. And if they do get involved anywhere, I expect it to be pitching and probably some value pitching. They still have some young guys along the way, but their lineup, you know, there's a lot of teams now that if you go on Fangraphs and you click around from lineup to lineup, you're like my Yankees, for example. Oh, he's already talking about the Yankees. The Yankees currently don't have a center fielder. They have a prospect out there because Cody Bellinger and Trent are technically free agents. Their lineup could roll out there tomorrow and be one of the better lineups in baseball. So expect them to get involved in some pitching, value, always with the Athletics, that probably not the big names. And you still got a minute, Athletic fans. Bartender down the road, former Athletic fan, quit the team. Oh, so bad news. Baltimore, that was an extra 10 seconds. Already got in the action. Andrew Kittredge is back. Pitching. And how big? You know, Baltimore owners a couple years ago got us excited. Sugano and Eflin are free agents. Those are two guys we looked at last year like, wait, is that going to be their 1-2 punch? They are free agents. Their lineup, you could roll out there with a certain amount of hope. Adley Rutschman's going to be involved in trade rumors. I don't think that's going to happen. I could be wrong. Again, I do think he has value, but it'd probably be at his lowest value point. So why would Baltimore do that? Trevor Rogers breakout at the end of the year. Bradish fully back. Kramer Wells. Expect them to get some more pitching and expect a Baltimore hype train to kind of be back for next year. Speaking of hype train, and are there too many AL East teams? Rob Manfred, we want different divisions. The Boston Red Sox. I think... Jaron Duran trade rumors, which have just been kind of a part of his career now. Alex Bregman, though, is the storyline for me. Marcelo Meyer got hurt last year and was out for the season, but boy, does he look like he can play some third base. And again, for a lot of orgs, he would be their top prospect, but they had these other top prospects come through. Boston's lineup looks pretty damn good. Casas should be back, although I'm sure he'll be in the trade rumor mix as well. Just when Alex Bregman came over, all the storylines about what he's doing and texting guys late night and teaching them how to play day in, day out. And then if they're not going to use that budget, are they going to go somewhere else? They could add an arm in the rotation for sure. They should be spending big money. People are wondering if they're going to do the trade market again because they still have prospect capital. They have a lot of money. They kind of won last offseason. It makes me think they'll be a little quieter this year. They could not. And if it's not Bregman and you're willing to spend that much money, you're willing to spend money on a lot of guys. Very interested to see where they go. I ran a little long, but that's okay. Here are your Chicago White Sox. It's not looking like next year's going to be the year. Although, if you are a loser baseball person, the names are becoming prospects you've read about. Teal, Montgomery, Vargas, Caro, Mydroth. Bring in like a cool veteran. Maybe this should be Carlos Santana's next stop. Show these guys like how to operate.
Just got a place in Chicago.
As an organization, right? And some pitching would... They could do anything. They probably won't. But maybe some hype going into next year. Where we've run into time in the alphabetical order of this exercise. Here are the Cleveland Guardians. They re-signed Austin Hedges, so they've gotten their work done early. You're going to hear a lot of Stephen Kwan rumors this year. Stephen Kwan is slated to make $8-9 million this year. And sure, you know Stephen Kwan, multi-time All-Star, one of the true like contact bats in the league. Had some pop last year. Remember the Cleveland wind tunnel? This year, the numbers didn't land in a great spot. And I don't know if there was something behind the scenes there, injury, bad luck, whatever. I know Stephen Kwan is a really good baseball player. He's 28 years old. Getting paid a really affordable amount by other teams that might trade the Guardians a prospect package worthwhile. Expect to hear some stuff on that this offseason. Because although they haven't been able to replace hitters like they could, the value, and that's how Cleveland operates, they could get for Kwan, I think lines up this offseason. So I think that's their biggest storyline. Don't expect a ton of free agents. per usual. Detroit, one of the biggest wild card teams. Okay, Central, I see you. Rumored to be big boys again in free agency. We have Jack Flaherty opt in, so that's one less thing for the rotation. And by the way, Skubal, Flaherty, Mize, Reese Olson, Troy Melton. All right, and they could roll into it that. You're probably going to want another veteran arm. But, and what will they do with Skubal? Like, how much smoke and fire is real there? I don't think you can trade that guy with the level he's on right now. Obviously, if you're Detroit and you think there's no chance on signing him and you're going to get the real package back with probably a young MLB starter with hope to plug in right away with other pieces, maybe you have to do that. Maybe that's best for the team. It's not. It is not. But I don't know. Like, we saw Devers traded this year, and he had the big contract, and we questioned that, and now everyone's kind of at grips with it. So it can be done. I hope it's not. I don't think they can. I think you're destroying your team for no reason. Enjoy what Skubal is doing right now. It's at the highest level, close, like historic. They need lineup help. They're supposedly rumored in on Bichette Bregman again. Bichette would be really cool for them. Bichette would be really cool for a lot of teams. Atlanta, Toronto, which I think is just going to happen. Bring in some more hitting. You have a lot of young pieces. Let them figure it out. And I still don't have them doing a massive long-term contract until Javier comes off the books. By the way, Javier, half valuable again. How do you like that? Anyways, Gleyber Torres. Houston, we have a problem. I'm so sorry. Framber Valdez is a free agent. He has been sneaky so good for them. They need to replace that in some way. People think they're going to stay on Framber because they like him, but we know Houston has their limits, and they're not afraid to let a player go, as they've had seemingly every year since 2018 or so. They're going to be in the pitching market. It would be funny if they come up short on Framber or Framber goes a little too far for them. Is Ranger Suarez not like a knockoff Framber, just with better postseason history? So that one just made me laugh when I was going over names and faces. Their biggest thing is looking at health, and I think they need an outfielder. They've been an outfielder away seemingly the past couple years. That, you know, for me, this is a sneaky Trent Grisham landing area. Texas guy. That stadium would fit his swing well. And he's a guy that wouldn't break the bank with a high upside potential. I see them getting someone. They could use a lefty. How many times did I say that last year?
They don't like 5-year deals or more. That won't be an issue.
There's 2.5. You need a lefty. Picture Dylan Bundy. Like, I see a high-end starting pitcher. I see an outfielder, and I see us buying into Houston next year. The Kansas City Royals, I got a little more excited about them than I thought. Apparently, they have some more prospects on the way. Two catchers, supposedly, that they're going to trade one of the other ones. I don't know. I got a little too ahead of myself. Carter Jensen, they need hitting. They've needed hitting. Noah Cameron right now, who's really good for them in parts of last season and a chunk of last season, had a 2.99 ERA. He's slotted as their 5. So, like, they kind of have the rotation. They kind of have the bullpen. This team has needed hitting for a long time. There's not a lot of outfielders out there. I wonder if they could trade from prospect capital to find that corner outfielder they've been looking for a while. Let's get some hitters, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, I swear. AL Central hype. The Halos. This is going to be a fun one. I feel like they are in the mix to make another big splash. They had, the Joe Adell breakout has kind of just happened. Zach Neto is a top blank shortstop. Shanuel, they're in. Mike Trout, Taylor Ward. Like, we do this every year. The pitching is just thin. They're going to be big players in the pitching market. I guess when I look at that lineup, you can find room for another infielder pretty easily that they'll be in the mix. Could this be like a Gleyber Torres spot? That feels like a fit. They're going to be in on some pitching, so that's going to be an interesting game of chicken, I'd guess, in the middle-tier pitching market. This hasn't been a place that a lot of pitchers have loved to go, although Kikuchi was fine last year. The that we're going to bring in a couple veteran arms. Are they going to be veteran or good enough to get us excited about Halos baseball next year? Slippery slope. The Minnesota Twins. Hey, how are you? In debt, and the TV contract stuff has been bad for a while, which has them in an interesting spot. Are they going to trade away Joe Ryan? Are they going to trade away Pablo Lopez? Those are probably your biggest rumors. They traded away a full functioning bullpen. But, hey, maybe they can rebuild that, and maybe we'll talk about the fruits of their labor in a couple years. It's tough to picture them getting in the mix. You wonder if Buck Daddy would be willing to move. After his first healthy season, that contract doesn't look bad. There's not a lot of outfielders available. Would be a fun storyline for the rest of baseball. Otherwise, get your Luke Keeschel and Royce Lewis bounce-back stock going in the great state of Minnesota. Trevor Plouffe? The New York Yankees. I don't feel like I can speak on this. It's how are they going to navigate this? Something that's very interesting for our Yankees is that Garrett Cole is going to be coming back, but not for the start of the season. Carlos Rodon is going to be injured and not ready for the start of the season. Clark Schmidt, same, but even later in the year, that they have a lot of starting pitching, but not all of it will be ready for opening day, which, that's the old, an injury, you can use it. That's your trade deadline when they come back. Yeah, doesn't always work like that, and sometimes doesn't feel great. But they have Cam Schlittler, who broke out, Luis Heel, who won the Rookie of the Year. He beat out Wells, right?
Luis Heel won.
He's had some injury history there. Will Warren had a very nice rookie year and has a lot of numbers you can dream upon between the strikeouts and his stuff. How are they going to deal with their pitching staff? Because I think that's going to affect their bigger need is figuring out the offense. Because right now, the bottom of the lineup doesn't excite you. The top six can still be nice, but how are they going to deal with their young outfielders? Again, I'm going to do episodes for hours on the Yankees offseason. I think it starts with figuring out their pitching plan, and that's going to lead them into how they want to execute their offensive side. Seattle. Wow. Didn't think that would come next alphabetically. Hey, great year, Seattle. What's next? Remember those two corner infielders you acquired? Well, they are now free agents. So it's going to be full out addressing the corners. I'm sure we'll get more Luis Castillo trade rumors because that's every offseason now. But that pitching staff looks fantastic. The lineup is now back to looking thin because they don't have those two corner infielders. So how are they going to do that? What big names are we going to hear about? Naylor just seemed like the perfect fit there. At third base, I don't know. Do you try to figure it out with Ben Williamson and Cole Young? Exciting. Who's coming in on the corners? That's going to be the story. They've got some young guys coming along. Interested. The Tampa Bay Rays. Not who we always expect to be talking about come free agency. Their only listed free agent is Adrian Hauser, Senor Puke. Yeah, I don't know. The articles I read was they're looking for a catcher, but like a prospect catcher. They were like, are the Rays and Royals going to trade? I was like, oh, my God. Give me that January, 11th. I don't know. Pitching staff, Rasmussen, Pepio, McClanahan, Baz, Ian Seymour. So I don't know. You'd like to see that Tampa arm go back, maybe a Zach Eflin reunion. I just realized he's a free agent, and he had an awful year. 2023 AL Cy Young 6. Let's see if there's Rays funny business, but I don't know.
And a handful of guys making money at the level that the Rays usually trade away,
Right.
So I don't know. Fairbanks, one of Yandy or Lowe probably goes.
Lau Diaz, yeah. They'll be in the mix. It'll be a Raysy offseason, as it always is. The Texas Rangers, just a reminder, the best pitching staff in baseball. They have a rotation going into next year. There's some young guys there. They still probably bolster that with another veteran arm, getting ready for the injuries that the season can provide. What are they going to do with their hitting? Because it's been an absolute problem. I think there's a Dolly Garcia trade rumors, but his value is very bad. So what is that? Josh Young. It feels like they need a shake. They need a shake. What was that?
Royals.
Oh, okay.
Adolies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Don't have to give you anything.
You found it, Beebs. That's perfect. I also saw a Braves trade for Josh Smith as their shortstop. So, what's that do for the greater good? Nice guy. And your Toronto Blue Jays, your American League champion, Toronto Blue Jays. Shane Bieber opted in, which I think that is like opts in as tribute. Shout out to my Hunger Games stans. He would have gotten a lot more on the open market. Hey, maybe Shane Bieber goes out and shoves this year and gets an ace-type contract, and that's part of his decision-making. I think if he doesn't give up the game-losing home run in the World Series, I think he's a free agent. I think he made a proud decision, and I hope that works out for him in Toronto. That lineup looks like the lineup I saw play in the World Series and look really good, plus Anthony Santander, who had a cursed injured season. I guess a starting pitcher. Oh, that Bo Bichette guy. I think they're the leaders in the clubhouse. I think if Bo's not bought in after last year, I think Toronto's going to technically be the highest bidder. Canada, you do have to bid up a little bit. Sales tax is very real. I think it's the sales tax or income tax. Tax coming up later in this episode. And yeah, a veteran arm right now. Eric Lauer is slotted in as their 5, so expect them to be in the pitching market for a big starter. Coming off a World Series run, this front office, they locked up Vladdy for a long time. I think they're going to bring back Bichette, and I love that for them. Really do. All right, halfway point. I'm at 16. I rolled a little long. I guess I could have gone easier on Sacramento to start. Excuse me. Wow. At the halfway part, we do tell the people about Shopify. This video is brought to you by Shopify. Shopify is the best place to start and grow a business. We know, because that's what we did at John Boy Media. Me and John.com. Ooh, there's a walk-off homer who's on the website right now. I got to see this, man. And they helped relaunch our merch store on Shopify, our new /line website. We brought the ideas. Shopify brought the execution. As you're shopping our new launch, check out what Shopify can do for you. Shopify Sidekick, Shopify Magic, hello. And their suite of AI tools are a total game changer. They really are. It's every piece of information you're looking for running your business. So if you want to be like us, start building from the ground up, it's time to go over to Shopify. Start your trial today. Click the link in the description. Sign up for $1 per month. Boom. Trial at shopify.com/bakers. If you're ready to leave the amateurs and head over to the big leagues, shout out Shopify. Hell yeah. Oh, I forgot our big little tease. Little tease are coming up.
The tease. It's still coming.
Teas are coming up at the end. All right. National League alphabetical. Ooh. This team always gets me jazzy. The Arizona Diamondbacks. My Snakes. What's going on with Zach Gallen? Does anything happen there? Are we moving away? Is he looking to move away? I know originally he was. Kind of a bad timing for free agency for him. He's still probably opting out, and I think a team's going to go for Zach Gallen. Houston, Mets, who knows? I'm just naming teams right now. The lineup looks okay. We definitely would like another major league lock body. There's rumors that Paul Goldschmidt, we might do a little retirement tour there as a platoon guy for them. The pitching has been the problem the past couple of years. Go get yourself some bullpen guys, because that could have changed the whole course of your season. Man, the rotation looks thin right now. Ryan Nelson, Erod, Fott, Jarvis, and Mena. Not hella familiar, and not sure I want to keep saying hella. Pitching, and then get yourself an MLB value back, because sometimes that works out in Arizona. Atlanta, the story has been shortstop for a while, and it still is. America's GM, Jim Bowden, said maybe they sign Bichette, move Albies to short. Now we're talking. I don't know. They are going to be in the mix for pitching if there's anything that's ever made sense to you. They said, who's mustache? Frisbee golf. Padres. Dylan Cease. I ceased to remember his last name. Like him and Spencer Strider feel like best friends that have been separated for a while. Although Reynaldo Lopez, like their rotation plays right now. that shortstop position has been such a glaring spot for them for years. They need to address it, but there's only so many guys in this league to address it with. My Yankees have the same problem. So expect them to get, I want them in the mix in a big way. Ha-Sung Kim kind of broke their hearts a little bit by opting out. That's a rumor I heard. Atlanta, get in the mix. The Chicago Cubbies, Kyle Tucker, haven't mentioned his name yet. I don't have his landing spot. I just don't know. And I don't think it's the Cubbies because they can go into next year with an outfield of Happer, Suzuki, PCA, and top prospect Owen Casey. So they're kind of out. They like their lineup, and they kind of should. They were in on Bregman last free agency. Are those rumors going to come up again? I would assume so because they actually offered him, what was it, like a 3 for $120 or something like that? Like they were.
I guess that's what he got.
Yeah, they were playing the Bregman game, so they should be back in it. I think it's going to be a lot of pitching. They lost a lot of their bullpen. I think they believe in what they do pitching-wise. That I guess the scary part would be, is this like an Orioles offseason a couple years last year when we were like, oh, are they going to get Max Fried? And it's like, no, they brought in like 4 or 5 arms, and it didn't really work. But hey, if they believe in what they're doing pitching-wise, could the Sandy trade finally happen for these guys? Spoilers before we're getting to Miami. It's going to be a pitching offseason, and that's a good thing because their lineup is in a really, really good spot. They let Shota go. That one was weird. Still don't have that processed. Cincinnati. Central Jake is here today. God, Miguel Andujar's free agency. Sign me up. They have a rotation. I mentioned you want to get excited about your current rotation. Hunter Green, Andrew Abbott, Brady Singer, Lodolo, and Chase Burns. Yeah. If you like young, talented arms, it's right there in front of you. They need to address that bullpen. And, hey, that's one of the easiest things to address and change. How will they go about it? I need them to get a hitter. Right now I'm seeing Sal Stewart listed as the DH. Again, top prospect for them, and it's weird offseason mode. I know they have a lot of bodies they like. I need someone that I can look at and say that guy can hit. Right now, it's Ellie De La Cruz. Good starting point. Great starting point. Could this be I'd love a DH here. I daydreamed about a Rise for a little bit. Like, that feels like a fun start to a baseball game, a Rise and Ellie, getting it going. They need pop. They have a stadium built for pop. Marcelo Zuna, looking for one more lap around the sun. Get some pop, Cincy. Be an offensive team. You have a rotation. Interested to see where they go. I've been running over Colorado. Literally, America's GM said they need everything. They need a GM. They need everything. And they don't do everything. So, oh, man, I'm looking at the roster.
Figure out what you do.
This is nuts. This team plays the Dodgers a lot.
Last place 4 years in a row.
Sorry, Colorado. That stinks. Beautiful stadium. Great people. Great city. The Dodgers. What have they been up to? Michael Kopech's a free agent. So is Michael Conforto. So is Kike. Still partying, though. The Heen Dog ended up there. How do you like that? The Dodgers are just the story. What are they going to do? Are they the Kyle Tucker team? Because there's a world where they are, and we all need to kind of prep ourselves for that world. God, interested to see where they go with it. Can they bring in more pitching? I mean, bullpen feels like there's spots out there, although looks like they've plugged in Brusdar Graterol for next year, and Tanner Scott's going to get another go. I don't know. The Dodgers are kind of the story of baseball right now. They're going to sign someone big. How big and who? So funny that alphabetically they are sandwiched between Colorado and Miami. Miami, it doesn't have any free agents listed. So that's kind of where they at. I guess their storyline is going to be Sandy. Are they going to make the Sandy move? Are they going to move Edward Cabrera? That's what, he's been in trade rumors his entire career. Their rotation, Sandy, Cabrera, Yuri, Weathers, Garrett?
That's why people think at least one of them goes.
And that's the problem. I don't know. Jacob Marcy was awesome to watch last year in a small sample size. Is there something brewing there? I don't know. Will the Castellanos trade happen? The lineup just gets so thin so quick. I hate it. I hate it. Miami should... I'm not doing that rant right now. Miami should be a powerhouse MLB team. Milwaukee, coming off the best season in the National League. God, I saw them say they want a shortstop. Joey Ortiz didn't hit last year. Everyone kind of wants a shortstop. It's probably the hardest position to find. We've got pitching. Are they going to trade Freddie Peralta? They can put together a rotation without fastball Freddie. He has one of the best pitcher contracts in the sport. We know the Brewers operate a little differently, and they should believe in that, even though they haven't had the postseason success they're looking for. Beating the Cubs, got rolled by the Dodgers this year. It seems like they probably do trade fastball Freddie, and they probably reload and get ready to do it all again. And just a reminder, the next pair of catching brothers in baseball, the Caros. Jefferson Caro on Milwaukee. Edgar on your White Sox. So how's your Central?
Those cities are close.
Let's get we're going to get a couple fun Milwaukee signings. We do this every year. Jordan Montgomery's a free agent. I know a spot. The New York Mets. Hey, how are you? Kyle Tucker sweepstakes. The Dodgers going out and doing a lot of work in free agency. You guys are the Mets. Did they miss the playoffs? Correct, right?
They missed.
First year of Soto. Pete Alonso is a free agent. Edwin Diaz is a free agent. Helsley. God, crazy that didn't work. They did re-sign Dick Lovelady, so BBD's covered there. I think the pitching, they ran out by the end of the season. On paper, shockingly, remember Nolan McLean and how fun that was? David Peterson, Clay Holmes, Manaea, and Senga. Like, all right. But we saw what happened last year. They're going to be addressing more pitching needs. It feels like they need a shakeup on their team, and maybe that's Kyle Tucker. Maybe it's Cody Bellinger. So it's kind of where's the shakeup in the lineup, and how are they going to bolster their pitching staff to get through 162? Because they got through 120 great. The final part of the year, the 3 rookies throwing it. That was insane. And re-signed Pete.
Yeah.
The career Mets home run leader. In his, prime.
Pete should be a Met.
Pete should be a Met.
And you shake something up with that.
Interesting. The Phillies, speaking of shakeup, it feels like that's what's coming. We've got Harper, Real Muto as free agents, Ranger Suarez. Walker Buehler ended up there. Remember that? What are they going to do? Shelfie's been on a big, Castellanos is probably out of town. That would be a money dump at this point. They need to shake up the vibes. There was Harper trade rumors. They're going to be big in the mix. And they still have, Trey Turner's 32, Harper's 33, Alec Boehm, there's always trade rumors. That pitching staff, Sanchez, Wheeler, Luzardo, Nola, Walker. Phillies are in. They traded for Duran. This isn't over in Philly. It's just how much are they going to shake the tree? Trev threw out, if they finally traded Boehm, is this a Bregman spot? And, does he not fit in with all those guys? Are they going to re-sign Schwarber? Big offseason for Philly. It could feel a lot different, or, those guys have loved what they're doing there. Does everyone just get back on the bus?
Get Schwarber back.
Schwarber and Real Muto.
Kind of just do it.
Maybe Cassie's out and see where you land there. We will see. Pittsburgh. I don't know. It gets me pretty frustrated. Skeens, Keller, Ashcraft, Chandler, Burrows. Okay. Bullpen, not a ton of names you recognize. Lineup. It's kind of where you land too. Jared Triolo listed as their 2-hole hitter. O'Neal, Cruz, Brian Reynolds. Spencer Horwitz might be something. I'd like to find out for a full season. Bring in some bats. Make me feel something. Bring in a wild card bat. Bring in anything. Your DH spot is open. Go overpay for Marcell Ozuna for 1 year. I don't know. Bring in guys. Bring in major league hitters because your pitching has a chance. I think they have the third best ERA in the NL. Free agents, Tommy Pham and Andrew McCutchen. San Diego. Danny Fernando. The crowd zone. Wild. I guess we're just doing this every year with San Diego that we don't really know what they're about. What is their budget? Is Mason Miller getting stretched out to a starting pitcher? They just got news that Darvish is going to be out for all of next year, so their rotation is a guy or two short now, although Matt Waldron, JP Sears, 4-5. Okay, it's not what you want, but guys that have pitched at the major league level. I don't know. I guess we're kind of sit and watch a little bit. Where last free agency, San Diego went so long and then they finally got in the action. I wonder, are they just kind of the new value team? We believe in what we're doing. Whatever slips, we'll figure out and make work. But we're still in it here, you know. We've Pivetta, Musgrove at the top of the rotation. They traded for Mason Miller. Their bullpen is still stacked. The meat of their lineup is still the meat. They were 1A, 1B with the Dodgers for a little bit there. It doesn't feel that way anymore. And, man, like Dylan Cease, Mike King, Arise, Nestor ended up there. Ryan O'Hearn, Robert Suarez. So, like, they lost a lot. What's their budget? Are they still a big budget team? I have no clue. No clue.
Can they do short-term stuff? Long-term? No idea.
No clue. The San Francisco Giants, I don't want to say LOL same, but who are you guys? They've done a ton. Jung-Hoo Lee, 100 mil. Willie Adames, almost 200. Rafael Devers, a lot of money coming in. Matt Chapman, 150 plus. Like, Elliot Ramos is established as something in this league. We'll find out what level it is. Bryce Eldridge is the next one of like the young super prospects on the way. But kind of like we saw with Jack Caglione in Kansas City, you know, it could not happen quick. We've seen that for a lot of guys. Pitching staff right now listed as Webb, Ray, Roop, Tang, and McDonald. So let's expect them to get in the starting pitching market. And it feels like they're in a go time. Like, Buster Posey is making go moves. He was brought in to go. He only took the job to go. They feel like they want to be the next San Diego trying to keep up with L.A. They would have to make some moves. Definitely a starting pitcher. You'd love to see another guy or two in the lineup, which feel like I've been saying that for too long. And they have a lot of guys now getting paid in that lineup. Interested. St. Louis. Man, the Cardinals, what have they done to us? I don't know what this collection of players is. I don't think they do. I think they're like actually getting ready to rebuild. There's rumors that Sonny Gray is willing to waive his no trade to go somewhere that's not St. Louis. That's a bad sign, if I'm being honest.
Go somewhere that has a chance to be competitive.
That's a bad sign. Every year it feels like they have the same, like Brendan Donovan, Burleson, and Gorman.
Newt Barr.
What are we doing there? I don't know. Will Jordan Walker have his late breakout at some point? Ivan Herrera, sure.
Figure out the Arenado thing.
Sonny Gray trade would be cool. Like, how about I'll do this? Sonny Gray to Houston. They need a pitcher. That's one of their contract landing zones, although he gets paid a lot, but we can figure that out. Riley O'Brien lining up for some saves there. Okay, I know an O'Brien. And the Washington Nationals. When are they going to be back in the mix for guys? There's been some Mackenzie Gore trade rumors.
Sneaky 2 years left guy.
I believe so. I think he's the 2 year, like he's in that perfect trade candidate window that teams like to do, or at least both teams feel like they have the price tag agreed on. Here's a chunk of prospects. Here's 2 years of this guy.
It's the time when you listen.
That's the trade. Yeah, and the roster, you still wish it would feel closer. Although Dalen Lyle really came onto the scene last year. How do you like that? And there's names, and it's a lot of prospects, but man, that second half of the lineup, I don't think you can bank on anything. Right now, Luis Garcia Jr. is listed as their first baseman. I'm still waiting for the year that we walk away and we're like, the Nats are back in the mix. There's first baseman to be had this year. It feels like if you really plugged in a couple of the veterans we like, we could be hyped about this team. But I think they're a year away, if not couple, from doing that. So that was a quick 30 and 30. I'm not sure exactly what we learned, but it was the laughs we had along the way, right? Excited for the offseason to actually get going. We're gonna have some more, obviously, a lot more baseball stuff coming your way as we start to sink our teeth into football, basketball, everything else that is rolling around the sports season. I guess I'll do the announcement before I get into just like the football weekend wraparound. Hello. Cricket. You might know that I was voted the best player at the Beach Bash this year. If you're still here, you're a John Boy Media person. You've been listening to Wake and Jake. I can't thank you enough. If you're locked in on all things JM, some breaking news. On Monday, we're launching an all-new channel. Details are coming out. It's going to be fun. It's very John Boy Media. And if you like to explore, if you're in our web, the warehouse, baseball, here, there, JJR, it might be for you. So go check that out. A little sneaky tease for the people. And now let's check out our football weekend, which starts on Thursday night. My Broncos, 7-2. Okay. Bo Nix, J.K. Dobbins. How do you like that? My guy R.J. Harvey scoring touchdowns, not getting a ton of touches. I want to see that go up. Maybe it goes up Thursday against the Raiders. The Raiders had that ugly OT loss where they went for 2. What would I be saying about the 3-5 Raiders? Probably the same thing. This is in Denver. Denver's 4-0 at home, 7-2. Will football rear its ugly head? I hope not. I'm becoming a Bo-liever. So let's do it, Denver. -9.5. I'll stay away. Which brings us to Sunday. And on Sunday, we're going to Berlin, Germany, baby. Grab a Stein. Get ready for it. As the Colts, who maybe I got too bullish on, and Pittsburgh showed why they are the Pittsburgh Steelers. They dropped to 7-2. They are facing the Falcons, the do-or-die Falcons. Drake London has earned all my respect. Last year, I kind of wasn't in on him. Watching what he did against the Patriots, depending how this Falcons year ends up going, maybe get him somewhere else because that dude has the sauce. Let's see how the Colts bounce back in Germany. These games get a little weird sometimes. Every Falcons game feels a little weird sometimes. We'll be watching. Why not? 1:00. Giants and the Bears. The Bears steal victory out of the jaws of defeat. Colson Loveland down the middle after blowing it to the Bengals and Joe Flacco. They host BBD's Giants. The Giants season, shocker, November 5th, by the time we come out of baseball season, feels over. But there's hope at the quarterback position, which we haven't been able to say that. So let's see what goes on. Young Jackson Dart and Caleb Williams slinging the pill. Should get some offensive highlights because both these defenses ain't the best. And these quarterbacks are nothing but fun. Let's see where they start going. I think the Caleb hype train, a couple weird weeks in there, I think he's about to rack up some points. Some bad defenses coming his way. As the Bears could be 6-3 if they defeat BBD's Giants. Bills, Dolphins. Nah. Good on that. Bills good, Dolphins bad. Ravens, Vikings. This is a fun one. as the Ravens are getting back involved in this season. They are now 3-5, playing the Vikings in Minnesota. J.J. McCarthy back and looked solid. I'm debating if I'm giving him the fantasy start this week. I'm out of quarterbacks. I am trying to trade for one. Updates to come. I've got some flex options on the bench. I don't know. It's your backup quarterback. Anyways, will the Ravens defense be back against a rookie quarterback? If this game was in Baltimore, I would not be starting J.J. McCarthy. But he's been running for some touchdowns. That's fantasy. Baltimore is favored against the Vikings -4.5. Vegas, what do they know? The 4-4 Vikes. Jetta. Let's see what we got. The Browns and the Jets. Never. Not in this simulation. Breece Hall sad his friends are getting traded and not him. Internet memes. Browns favored by 2.5 in Jet Life. 37.5 over under. I don't know. How about this? The Browns are 0-4 on the road. The Jets are 0-5 at home. Something will happen. That's crazy.
Something changes or it'll be really funny.
That's crazy. Oh, bet the tie? I don't hate that.
That could be a fun tie bet.
I don't think Aaron Glenn named a starting quarterback yet. Bad sign. Both healthy-ish. One of the games of the weekend, and this is fun, Patriots versus the Buccaneers. The Patriots getting their first challenge in a little bit in their schedule. Kind of unreal to look at. Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Bucks, and then they go Jets, Bengals, Giants. So this is going to be our first and only Patriots test in about a 2-month span. Drake May playing kind of at a historic level. 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. The completion percentage is very impressive. Going against Baker, some MVP discussion for whoever comes out of this game. 6-2. I think the Bucks are coming off their bye week. So if you're a bye week believer, let's see. They played the Saints on, okay, Jake. Where's the date? October 26th. So, yeah. Coming off the bye. And then the Saints before that. They've probably been eyeing this game. This is a playoff-level football game. Should be a lot of fun. See you there. So that kind of saved the 1 o'clock slate because I feel like I gave a lot of U's. Jags, Texans. No, thank you. The same over-under as Browns-Jets, sneakily. Compliments to the Texans' defense because that's probably the best unit on the field in this game. Somehow the Jags could be 6-3. Trevor Lawrence, man. 9 touchdowns, 6 picks. We're in deep. Last week's. So that ends the 1 o'clock slate. Patriots Bucks. That's you might even not have to red zone. Just watch that. 4 p.m. Cardinals Seahawks. Seahawks. One of the big winners from last weekend. 6-2. Sam Darnold looks like Sam Darnold again. JSN is maybe the breakout star of this season, carrying fantasy teams. They're facing the Cardinals and Jacoby Brissett. Kyler Murray healthy to play, but not the starter. Which is just interesting because teams don't do that with a starting quarterback. Texted Cole Tucker, big Cardinals fan, very excited. He's riding the Jacoby train for now. So that's where they're at, which is kind of just crazy with where Kyler Murray was to where we might be. In Seattle, I told you guys, I guess this is my new sniff test. Jake's new sniff test formula for football. A team that's not necessarily known for their success, although I have a comment about that in a second. A coach that I think I like, and I guess an opportunity to break out. I was kind of on the Browns going back to early Wake and Jake. Who's I'm blanking on there? Stefanski. I had to learn his name. Starting to fade Stefanski, but God, it's the Cleveland Browns. They've been a horrific franchise, and he made them not horrific. And by the way, if they beat the Jets this weekend, the Cleveland Browns with who at quarterback? 3-6. I thought it was going to be a game better. I was on like, wow, he's made Cleveland kind of relevant. That's cool. Tall Vikings head coach. Yes. Kind of was on that before he became the breakout, one of the sexier coaches in football, O'Connell. I think the Seahawks and McDonald, again, generic name kind of hurts them. A little bit of generic face, if I'm being honest. They went out and got Darnold, which, by the way, is starting to look like an all-time transaction that went down, that the Vikings decided to stick with McCarthy, not knowing what they have, and they still don't know, so I guess all-time transaction. But Geno to the Raiders and Darnold to the Seattle Seahawks was kind of like, okay, this is the same transaction, right? Darnold looking like he might have more in the chamber. Seahawks with a chance to go 7-2 at home, touchdown favorite over the Cards. Lions Commanders, a little more excited when the season started. We saw Jaden leave the field in the air cast. That was one of the uglier ones in a while. Lions, more than a touchdown favorite against Mariota and the Commanders. That's tough. That Commanders game was sad, got sad, landed even sadder somehow. And then your night. How about the 5-3 Steelers? And that defense looking better against the 6-3 Chargers in LA. I think the fun thing to watch there, if you're a sports fan, that LA team still doesn't have the craziest fan base. That people are saying this should be, the Steelers travel amazing, that this should be like a crazy Steelers road game. Something to watch. It's something to think about, I guess, if you're in the gambling space. Chargers -2.5. Eagles, Packers on Monday, so that's a good one. That's a fantastic one. A lot of green on the field. 6-2 Eagles, 5-2-1. Go Pack, go in Green Bay. Go Birds. I want to show that I'm on both sides there. So if you're getting your football Sunday ready. Oh, I missed Rams-Niners. That's always a fun one. McVay, Shanahan, 6-2 versus 6-3. Maybe Brock Purdy comes back this week, but we've said that a lot. Rams favored going to Santa Clara to face the Niners. So, yeah, kind of choppy. If you want Pats Bucks at 1, that's fun. If you want Rams-Niners at 4, that's the best I can do. And then Steelers-Chargers at 8, that'll be fun. Those are whoever comes out of that team is either going to be 7-3 or 6-3. And just we like what's going on there between their head coach or their quarterback. There's something fun to be had there, and Monday night's good. So, JM announcement on Monday. Football this weekend. Baseball. I'm getting ahead of some Wake and Jake so I can head on vacation. So thank you guys for that. Maybe you won't notice. You probably notice. But if you don't, nice. All right. You guys are the best. Thank you. We love you.